I'm Randy Ruth, and welcome to another edition of your Pocket Mechanic. I want to talk to you this morning about side work. Side work, that is, paying a mechanic that generally works at a shop to work on your vehicle in the mechanic's own time to avoid paying high shop labor rates. This seems like a win-win deal for both the mechanic and the consumer. For one, the consumer is saving a lot of money because instead of paying that shop $100 an hour, they're able to pay the mechanic's time to work on it. And they also usually save money on parts because shops generally mark up parts, whereas a mechanic can often get parts at a substantial discount that they don't mark up before putting it on your vehicle. This seems like a wonderful deal for the consumer, seems like another wonderful deal for the mechanic because the mechanic is making tax-free money, which often comes in handy between paydays. But is this really a good deal for either party? Let me give you some things that can go wrong. First of all, retail repair shops are registered by state agencies. In California, we have the Bureau of Automotive Repair, which is a division of Consumer Affairs. This protects you as a consumer should something go wrong during the repair. If something were to go wrong and you can't reach an agreement with the shop, you have the Bureau of Automotive Repair to turn to, who will open an investigation on the shop. And these investigations are very thorough. It protects you, and it also protects the shop because if it turns out the shop did everything they were supposed to, they're covered. You also have the ability to take the shop to a small claims court if you want. And this kind of backs you because you have a receipt to show what work was done. It also can help the shop because they can show what work they did. This works out great for both parties. When a mechanic works on their vehicle on your vehicle at their house is not registered with the Bureau of Automotive Repair. It is not a licensed repair facility. For this reason, a lot of mechanics do not like giving out receipts. You may get a receipt for your parts, but you won't get a receipt for the work they did. They do this for obvious reasons, mostly because this is tax-free money they're making and they don't want proof that they've taken in an income that was tax-free. So if you were to go to small claims court or the Bureau of Automotive Repair, you don't have a receipt to show they did any work. So now you're really fighting a losing battle at this point. Also, mechanics don't really have the financial backing to protect your vehicle when it's at their house. Whereas if it's at the shop, somebody backs into your vehicle, the shop's able to fix it for you. Or if the building burns down and your car happens to be inside, their insurance can cover that. If something were to happen to your vehicle at the mechanic's house, you're out of luck. They don't have the money to cover it. They don't have the out-of-pocket money to cover it. Their insurance may not cover it. So now you're stuck with another repair bill you weren't anticipating. Something else to think about. If something goes terribly wrong with the repair, what do? Say you paid a shop money to fix your vehicle, then you go on a vacation somewhere and it breaks down out of town. The shop generally has resources to either have it repaired in the other town or get it back into town so they can repair it. Mechanic can tell you, well, you're out of luck. They don't really have the resources to take care of your vehicle once it leaves town. Once it leaves their garage, it's out of their hands. What also happens too is mechanics put in a lot of hours during the day. Some work 9, 10 hours a day. When they get off work, they're really tired. Now they're off work, they have that little bit of time between then and before they go to bed to enjoy the kids, to enjoy the wife. Somewhere in there, they've got to squeeze your car to work on. Are you getting the best possible work at that point from a tired mechanic who's pressed for time? Think about that. Also, mechanics don't always have the ability to dispose of hazardous waste. When you're at a shop and they drain oil or antifreeze out of your vehicle, a retail shop pays a company to haul this away. It's stored in drums and later hauled away by a hazmat company. What does a mechanic do with this stuff at their house? They pour it down a storm drain? Do they go out in the desert and dump it? You don't know. Really, it's not your problem, but you should care. You should care about this. Mechanics, is this really a good deal for you? I've seen some things go terribly wrong. When you work for a shop and you're doing side work, you're taking money away from that shop. They don't like this. A lot of shops do not like their mechanics doing side work because it takes money out of their pocket. Also, if something goes wrong, it looks bad on the shop, even though it wasn't done through the shop, and you can wind up losing your job over this. And I have seen it happen. You work on a customer's car, something goes wrong, the customer's upset, they're going to tell the shop owner. They're going to say, hey, so and so worked on my car. He works for you. He worked on my car in his time. Something's gone terribly wrong. I want you to do something about it. Well, they really can't because it wasn't done through the shop. There was never a repair order written, but they're going to punish the mechanic, and you will find yourself out of a job. So, is side work really worth it for either side? For a consumer, you really have no backing if something goes wrong. As a mechanic, you can wind up losing your job over it, plus it cuts into all your free time. So this looks like a lose-lose deal for both parties. Now, I'm not talking about putting an alternator on Uncle Milton's car, who may buy you a beer on the weekend because if something goes wrong. He's family. But if something goes wrong with the consumer, this really does create a lot of bad relationships all the way around. So this is something to think about. Side work seems like a great deal for both parties on the surface, but in the end, it can be a losing deal for both. I'm Randy Ruth, your pocket mechanic.